Yeah, Sherman, thanks a lot. What a beautiful, enthusiastic intro, man. That's some infectious energy you got there. I know everyone loves that about you. So yeah, a little bit about me. My background is actual, my education more specifically is in risk management and insurance. So by nature, I'm a pretty skeptical person. I'm hesitant. I still like to pull the trigger on new ideas, but just that training has kind of infected my thinking a lot. So you're not just getting some evangelist for all things AI. I've got a skeptic eye. I am trained as a full stack developer, self-trained. I did do some training of others as well. Right now, I live full-time in Costa Rica as an expat, if you want to use a more less flattering term, as an immigrant. And yeah, right on the Pacific coast. I'm probably 50 meters from the water right now. And yeah, my current role is managing director at Diversified Robotic. And Diversified Robotic is a CSP and systems integrator. We were established by our founder 8 years ago. And his objective was to democratize the latest tech so that it could be used by everyone, not just enterprise. He really wanted to bring the high-tech solutions to the SMB space. So for many years, we focused on automation because that is just the highest ROI for SMBs because it doesn't have a high cost of development or a high cost of usage, but it does provide a lot of benefit. Since then, though, the world's changed a lot, and we've now added more things like Azure Cloud, AI, and things like that. And we hold all those nice little Microsoft certifications. If you know anything about Microsoft, we're moving away from the silver and gold designations. Now we're into the specific certifications. So we have those for web apps and the Power Platform and Azure and things like that. So my role with DR as you see there, managing director is my title, but my job is to work with our founder and CTO to basically take what's happening in technology and then turn that into products and services that we can take to market. And so, of course, we have like that suite of out-of-the-box solutions of things that we've custom made, and we're working with our clients. But our main focus right now is actually AI readiness as a service, which probably sounds completely insane that readiness as a service, it does have a temporary nature. Of course, you can only get ready one time. But the reason why we're making this our focus right now is because the latest statistics say that AI projects have a much higher failure rate than typical IT implementations, up to 80%, whereas a typical IT integration has like a 37% failure rate, so double what's normal. And the root cause of that seems to be a lack of readiness from an organizational perspective, but then also from a tech stack perspective as well. So we're taking that to market. It's been going unbelievably well so far. And we're also set up a partner program where we're able to offer this through MSPs or with other Microsoft partners so that they can kind of expand their AI sales in a streamlined way. The way when we're talking about going to market or how we can package or position AI, to me, the key factor, and I mean this very, very sincerely, the key factor is driving the discussion. Right? If we as the partner aren't driving the discussion, the hype cycle is going to drive the discussion. Our clients are going to think that they saw one fun video on YouTube or they saw some post on LinkedIn and that they're experts and they just need us, to do X, Y, Z. And that's just simply not the case. We have to drive the discussions. They may come to us with curiosity, but we want to make sure we're driving it. Because if not, we're always going to be chasing this imaginary target, right? This imaginary thing that doesn't even really exist because it's just in their imaginations. People are saying things like, well, I want AI. Okay, press the button on your phone. You got it. That's not specific enough. It has to be a situation where we're guiding them. So if we're not competent in AI, if we're not capable, we can't cash in on any of this revenue. We have to actually understand what AI can do, what it's capable of, so that we're able to drive the conversation. So to me, that's jumping off point number one. If we're going to have any success, we have to be leading that conversation with our clients.
But you gotta remember, if you think back to Power BI days, right? And remember we had Power BI and then we built a modern data warehouse. And then we used machine learning to kind of help find better decisions. that was really the kind of first foray into this, right? And if we understand that, that's really what AI is doing, but times 10. It's helping us as opposed to having to learn machine learning algorithms to find little tiny things there. This is really kind of supercharging your things. Now, Derek Gabriel, I wonder if you can come off of mute and get on video, because I'm going to make a statement here, and you can tell me in the type message or in chat window that you can't if you're not around. But you've moved away. One of our partners that are on here, Derek Gabriel, has moved away from being an MSP to an AI practice, just going that way. And I'm kind of thinking, I'm going to opine here a little bit. I think the business that we've been doing for many, many years, right? Starting with the on-prem, then moving to the cloud, and then this. I'm always kind of thinking that this opportunity, 3, 5, 10 years down the road, is really the industry that we need to be in, or that's where you need to morph your business, because the old way of, we're getting to the point now that we're also not sending people to go fix printer drivers, right? We're not at that old MSP business where we're sending people there. Derek, are you in an area that you can get off mic? I'd love to hear just your opinion on why you kind of made that shift.
Yeah, hopefully you can see me or hear me.
Yeah, we can. Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I was at a conference last week of cybersecurity MSP providers, and having this conversation in the hallway with a lot of people, and we've actually got some really interesting things coming with respect to. There's a new paradigm that we're looking at, right? Without getting into all the crazy details, but ultimately, AI is a new function of a way of doing a lot of things and empowering people and to do things in different ways. But we're still going at it with the original, I need a mouse, I need a keyboard, I need a computer, I'm gonna buy software, I'm gonna plug it in, I'm gonna turn it on, right? And so that's the biggest challenge. But I really see our industry needs to transform. Microsoft's working on automating as much as they can in the security space, in the tech support space. And within the next decade, a lot of the jobs that we have right now are not going to exist the way they exist. And so that's our focus on AI and Copilot specifically, because Copilot's the most secure and the best tool for business. And so it made sense that we help our client base and hopefully future client base use that and be able to implement that and join this future revolution.
DLP. What are your thoughts on that? Because data loss prevention inside of the of information that's currently in SharePoint, right? But then you're moving that data into a ring fenced. Is that an issue? Is there a loss of potential control with that data, considering that you're trying to put DLP policies on some of that data? What are your thoughts? That may be a little too technical, but what are your thoughts?
No, it's a good question. So first of all, when it comes to AI in general, obviously it's all about data. It doesn't work if there's no data. If you don't have a data governance policy for how you go about building the AI solutions, you're begging for data loss. You're begging for it. Same way, if you don't have a strict AI usage policy, you're begging for data loss. Someone's going to infiltrate your organization. If you don't have strict governance in how you're building solutions, and if you don't have an AI policy for your users, there's going to be breaches. And along that note, your users need to be trained. They need to understand how to avoid, it seems so elementary now, but the skill level, because of AI, unfortunately, of nefarious actors to build out these spear phishing emails it's actually shocking. I was on a security call just a couple of weeks ago, and this thing was it had scraped LinkedIn, it had scraped his Facebook, and built this. It really sounded like a person that knew him from in the past and wanted to ask questions, and they were just click my link here and schedule or whatever. Total spear phishing. So if your users aren't trained to be aware, that's the stuff you need to worry about. Data lakes usually always have some level of redundancy. I was just looking at a lake that we're setting up for a client. There was enough redundancy there that there wouldn't, if there were a data loss situation, it wouldn't be an issue. But the bigger concern is breaches and exposure. So obviously you want to have insurance just in case that's sensitive, any kind of PII gets leaked. But it's no bigger concern than any other technology to me, because the data lake's going to have security and redundancy. So that's number one. Don't be in a rush. Number two, as far as looking to the future, what I see the next big thing to be, I'm sure Derek and his team and a lot of people that are big-minded and are looking at changing work and things like that have a vision that they kind of are building out, where we just have computers talking to computers, very much like the dead internet theory kind of thing, where the computers are just doing things and it makes this utopia-like situation. That's very much a possibility. To me, what I see being the intermediate step between that is a bigger emphasis on human in the loop AI. And what I mean by human in the loop is, rather than, like I see people in the chat saying agents are great. Agents are wrong also, like a lot. There's a statistic that just came out that said like 60% of AI generated solutions aren't perfectly accurate, and 80% of employees don't check before submitting. So there was a recent thing in the news where like the way AI read, I can't remember all the details, but the way AI read a certain research paper, it made an assumption based on the way the page on the PDF was laid out, and it invented this idea. And so when people were doing research, they keep getting this thing, and then they're putting it in their research papers, and it doesn't. And so what I see coming is more human in the loop AI, where we're doing more. We're using it almost like as if we're cyborgs, right? Where we're part machine and we're part human. So we send it out to do work in our behalf, and then we check behind it, because the speed at which it can do the work is way faster than we can. But it's never going to match a human's ability to look and critique, right? We're able to look at something, and we all have this now, right? Where you can look at an image and you know AI made it almost 99% of the time, right? We have by nature design detection. That's how we can look at, maybe a set of rocks that appears to have the structure of an elephant versus looking at Mount Rushmore and knowing that that's supposed to be the likeness of 4 presidents, right? Like we have design detection built in. Well, now we've got that for AI. We're aware of when we're seeing something that's made by AI, and it'll probably never get so good that it'll truly fool us if you're keeping up. That being said, we're able to deploy AI to do things in our behalf, but keeping humans in the loop is how we make it successful. And so I think we'll see a lot more of that, where rather than building out a team of 20 or 30 people that work under you, you have 20 or 30 agents acting, and then your responsibility is to make sure that those agents' activity is accurate, or to correct them, or to train them, or whatever the case. So I call that cyborgification, basically, where we just kind of become one with AI, not in a literal sense, not microchips, people. That's not what I'm talking about, or nano machines. Just talking about the way we go about work, where we kind of work through AI as opposed to just sending it out there to do things without any oversight.
That's great. That is fantastic. I like that.